Welcome to the final segment in our three-part series discussing the implications of the Australian Writing Survey in Queensland. The survey was conducted in partnership between the Department of Education and the Institute of Learning Sciences and Teacher Education, or ILST, between 2016 and 2017. The survey drew responses and insights from dedicated teachers all over the state and may be useful in generating discussion about how writing is taught and assessed in your school. Throughout this series, Pascal has looked at considerations around building a positive, school-wide writing culture, as well as how teachers' dispositions as writers can impact on how they teach writing. And today, in our final instalment, she'll be looking at clarifying expected features of writing quality. I'd encourage you to reflect on your school's shared meta-language of writing and how monitoring writing regularly can be used to adjust instruction, to inform differentiation, and to produce better learning outcomes for students.
Understanding what quality writing looks like is complex. A key consideration of the Australian Writing Survey is clarifying the expected features of writing quality and using this to assess the quality of students' writing and to provide purposeful feedback. In this segment, and because writing is embedded within the curriculum, note that when we talk about assessing students' writing, unless it is explicitly measured in summative assessment tasks, we're referring to low-stakes formative assessment, using formal or informal monitoring tasks to guide ongoing teaching and learning of writing within the curriculum. As mentioned in an earlier segment, the findings of the survey were presented by ILST in their seminar Reframing the Middle Years Slump, which can be accessed online. The analysis indicated that to leverage improvement and meet the needs of all learners, schools might reflect on how they establish a shared meta-language for teaching and assessing writing and align curriculum, pedagogy and assessment. Klanowski and Wyatt-Smith say that assessment requires teachers to draw on their professional knowledge and expertise to arrive at judgments of quality. But how do we know what to look for in students' writing, what to ask them to write, and how to evaluate its effectiveness? Unsurprisingly, to develop a cohesive picture of what and how students should write as they move through school, it's vital to know the Australian curriculum, including Australian Curriculum English and the General Capabilities Literacy, which is applied through the content of the learning areas. By looking at the English sequence of achievement standards and content across year levels, teachers can see where their students should be, what the previous year level focused on, and where students will aim to next. For a more fine-grained view of writing behaviour across the stages of schooling that aligns with the Australian curriculum, the department provides the Peter 10 literacy continuum, including the aspects of writing and vocabulary knowledge markers. The continuum offers a set of benchmarks to support teachers in monitoring students' literacy development and can be used in two ways in relation to writing: to individually monitor student writing samples and to plan to teach and monitor the writing demands of the curriculum. The continuum's interactive functionality in one school offers tools such as the Student Progress Tracker and the Marker Collection tool to gather valuable literacy data to inform planning for individual students, classes or cohorts. Once there are inroads for understanding what to look for and teach, it's essential to have a shared meta-language among teachers and students. For example, staff could share writing samples and develop agreed commentaries about the writing quality and features, or use student-friendly terms to talk about writing in the classroom. A shared meta-language can impact the validity, reliability, transparency and authenticity of assessment, where teachers have clarity about the kind of writing they ask of students, and students have clarity about what is being assessed and why. Another benefit is that it can help students monitor their own writing. Here are 3 strategies developed by Black and William to guide formative assessment that maximises the chances of teachers making accurate judgments about student writing and adjusting their instruction in ways that promote student learning. The first is to clarify and share learning intentions and criteria for success. This includes designing a fit-for-purpose task, ensuring the purpose is clear, sharing and discussing exemplars with students, and developing suitable rubrics or checklists to guide evaluation, target feedback, and let students know what you're looking for. The second strategy is to engineer effective classroom discussions and other learning tasks that elicit evidence of student understanding. Klanowski and Wyatt-Smith remind us that it's vital to consider the relationship between the monitoring task set and the evidence required. Wilson suggests that gathering evidence could range from informal questioning in class, pre- and post-tests, and other regular writing activities such as writing prompts, brief writes or exit tickets to monitor how students have understood and applied the concepts in the lesson, including writing skills and strategies. And the third strategy is to provide feedback that moves learners forward, which Wyatt-Smith says offers students a sense of firmness to proceed with confidence. Wilson says that effective feedback should vary in manner, focus, and timing to suit what is required so that it helps the writer gauge their performance, identify what should be done to close the gap between current performance and the learning goal, and suggest ways of moving forward. Varying the manner combines direct feedback, where the teacher explicitly states what is and isn't working and perhaps corrects the work, facilitative feedback, such as guiding questions or reminders of key criteria, and praise. While praise is the least effective manner of feedback, it can encourage and build trust between student and teacher. Wilson acknowledges there are lots of different things to comment on in writing and stresses the need to focus on the most suitable level of feedback. Lower level skills include spelling, punctuation, and sentence structure. Higher level skills include word choice, text organisation, and style. Feedback can also be given about writing strategies such as planning and editing. Choosing the best focus for the purpose of a monitoring task can mean the difference between spending time correcting spelling errors or providing feedback about the impact of a student's opening paragraph. The more suitable and timely the feedback, the more effective it will be. When students are able to apply feedback immediately, this is called the practice feedback loop. Sometimes evaluation takes time, however, and Wilson suggests including tasks that are quick to evaluate or involve peer or self-evaluation. Speaking of time, thank you for your time in watching this series on the Australian Writing Survey. The Curriculum Teaching and Learning Literacy team will continue to respond to the outcomes of the survey and the current research about the teaching of writing in schools. I hope this EdTV series has been helpful in informing and clarifying your school's plans for writing improvement.
This segment has been informed by the following research. For more research-based support regarding teaching writing, visit the Department's Literacy P12 site, the How to Teach Writing online module, the Reading and Writing Centre, or the Getting Kids Writing One Sentence at a Time Ed Studio.